Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Papi Vodka, and for the ones that do know me, thank you for watching me again. I will invite you to subscribe if you not already are, and follow me on my social media. On today's video, we're gonna respond to one of the many, this is not the one, this is one of the many racist, distasteful, hurtful things that had happened to Yalitza Aparicio. If y'all don't know who Yalitza Aparicio is, which I think you should know, she is a Mexican actress that debuted on the drama Roma in 2019. She was also nominated by the Academy as Best Actress, and she was also named by Time magazine as one of the most influential people of 2019. So Yalitza is doing her damn thing. She's an indigenous woman, and indigenous people are hardly represented in the media, so having Yalitza in there, it's so important for us. She's a beautiful, successful woman, and even though we don't share the same culture, I really feel connected to every indigenous person from America. To all these cultures, I always feel connected because there's not many of us, and a lot of people, especially in Latin America, doesn't even want to associate with them. And why I'm talking about Yalitza getting this video is gonna be one of the major injustice comments. If you go to comments on Facebook about Yalitza when she went to the Oscars, one of the biggest nights of her life, the comments were so hateful. They were calling her monkey, they were calling her all types of she's ugly, the face, because this is what in Latin America is happening when it comes to indigenous people, because this is what colonization and what Spanish bring to us. There's something you call that is called mejorar la raza, that means like improving the race, that is all known in Latin America. So Yalitza has been getting all types of hate in Latin America, and y'all can't deny it. So on today's video, a clown, I'm gonna call her a clown, I don't care, I don't know who she is, this is the first time I heard of her. She posted this on Twitter. Let me open this for you. So she posted on Twitter, no es por ser spoiler, pero hoy nos les llevamos el Oscar, alongside a photo of Yalitza on Brownface / Blackface. This caused a lot of controversy because this is a controversial topic in Latin America itself. Okay, so Blackface was not only happening in North America and in Europe, was happening in Latin America as well. And a lot of Latinos seem to deny this. A lot of Latinos act like this never happened. Okay, let's start.
Que quedaron maravillosos, con el centro de mesa y la fama y el dinero que nadie de ustedes se puede imaginar.
Muy felices de que la parodia va a debutar con Roma el próximo lunes 4 de marzo. Esperemos que la vean. Es una película que viene de mi memoria. Desafortunadamente tengo Alzheimer, entonces termina así.
Do you all see that? This woman did brownface to look like Yalitza. She had to put on the big old nose, the skin, like let me just show you before I get into my commentary. Thank God this video got so many dislikes. There's another one.
¿Entrenas diario?
Do y'all notice? Listen, at least if you're gonna do something, make it funny. Like, what was that? And do y'all notice how the actor that represented another indigenous man had no wider nose, no this, no that? And let me tell you what is that. There is this thing in Latin America that Native women, indigenous, cannot look pretty, so they're trying to make her as uglier as possible. That's where all these comments come from, of jealous people. She looks like a monkey and all of that in social media. Why only her? Why she only has to have that nose? Why? Because they believe that indigenous women can be beautiful, and Yalitza Aparicio is one of the most beautiful women ever. And y'all really gonna make her that? Now let me get into these comments. Okay, so Camila, she said, this is racist, the way how the media is treating Miss Aparicio. gives a lot of thought. I hope and pray for you better guidance, as your excusing attitude is part of the problem. Bad class. Then Miss Yessica Rosales said, I'll translate to you guys. So should I have put a blonde wig and blue eye contacts to play Yalitza and not to offend you? Child, she really believes that we're mad that she put on brown skin. This is the story behind black and brown face. Most of y'all know the history of blackface in America, but there's not much conversation about the history of blackface and brownface in Latin America. Spanish bring the culture of blackface to the America. So in areas overpopulated with indigenous people, when their children were born, they were born like mestizos or something. So Spanish made like a triangle of class. Spanish is here, indigenous is here, Spanish is here, children of Spanish, mestizos, mixed, indigenous, and black people. They're at the lowest of the pyramid. They made this for years. And in a lot of carnival, it's called the carnivals, are allegedly religious traditions. They were mocking black and indigenous people as well. Mostly black, but the brown face was, it's part of history. The issues like while this was happening, millions, hundreds of millions of indigenous people in the Americas were murdered, were raped, were killed, children, women. So there's a scar behind brownface. There's a scar behind mocking indigenous women. There is that scar. So we're not mad that you trying to look like her, because why did you put that big ass nose? Why did you gonna put your makeup like that? Because people in Latin America think, especially the blonde Latinas, the Latinas that are like, I have family in England, I have family in Irish, I have Spanish blood. Especially these Latinas, they don't want indigenous women to be on the same level as them. They don't want this, because this is colorism and this is racism. They really think indigenous features are ugly. Do all indigenous people look like that? Let me show you some photos. Do they look like that? Let me tell you, don't even put like that. I am an indigenous person, Yalitza is an indigenous person, there's millions of indigenous people. Most of us were killed, but that's a conversation for another day. Somebody said, I'll translate it for you guys. I'll put the Spanish photo and then I'll translate. Oh my God, everybody bothers you guys. I think this PC culture is getting out of control. To be honest, I don't find anything racist in the play that they make to Yalitza. She's brown with indigenous features. Where's the bad in that? As I said before, there's the racist culture behind it, especially in our continent. Millions of people killed. The last genocide was not even 60, 70 years ago in Argentina, only because how we are. And after colonization, after we get independence, indigenous people were suffering. A lot of us were still slaves. A lot of people were still killed. And mostly indigenous people are poor because of how Spanish left the countries. The whiter you are, the better you are. The most indigenous and black you are, the less opportunities you had. You don't understand, we had slavery. Like, y'all forget about this. And this has happened in Latin America a lot. Like, it's like that hiccup that put us people behind. I'm not saying, oh, there's many indigenous people that were married or they were mestizos, somehow me included, but I don't want to claim that part. But generally the people that stayed very aborigines, they are suffering today. So this is offending everybody that is going through the struggle today. So Roger Castañeda, I'll translate to you guys. He basically say, reminds me when white actors used to put black makeup to mock African Americans. Maybe the intention wasn't bad, but it looks bad. How they say, don't do things that look bad. Then Cece replied, but she is not white. She is mestiza. Mestiza is like mixed, like you and me. Indeed, Yalitza is mestiza. Again, she's mixed, or how mestiza. So she belongs to the, but she belongs to the indigenous. Her ethnicity is indigenous, but her blood is mixed. Or don't tell me that the last name Aparicio comes from Oaxaca. I assume Oaxaca is like an indigenous thing. Of course, Aparicio, why? Our women were kidnapped, our women were forced to have babies, and nobody cared. This mestizo thing is a thing that I really don't like about Latin America. Who said I'm mestizo? Who gave me that name? Spanish people, they say you are mestizo because you are not white from Spain. Why, after we kick Spain out, should I keep this mestizo thing? Why should I keep the things they name it to be? If I want to consider myself indigenous, I do have indigenous blood. I am learning my indigenous language. I do want to keep my indigenous traditions. Why the hell should I keep this? Why? Only because you tell me? Why? If you believe she's mestiza, if she wants to call herself mestiza, it's fine, but she's obviously an indigenous woman, and people will see her as that. In every Latin American country, they will see her as that. They will call her India, they will call her tira flecha, they will call her these disgusting things that they have told me too. So y'all see this, they don't understand, and I don't blame them. This is years of slavery, colonization. Then after the independence of Latin American countries, these people made indigenous people fight for independence, and then most of them didn't give them rights. Most of them, we stayed slaves for a long time. Genocide less than 70 years ago, yeah, this is extremely racist, and it is not okay. Okay, let me continue. Then somebody replied, this is a parody and people should not have to get offended. Now Yalitza is untouchable. What does that even mean in Spanish? Oh, I don't know what is that. I don't know what that word means. Then they're talking about PC culture again and how they're hypocrites. And then he say, today I'll see La Parodia. That's the name of the show that actually did this. This is not about Yalitza. This is about mocking indigenous women and indigenous people in general. Y'all cannot tell me that indigenous people is at the same level as other people in Latin America. You can go for statistics. What slavery did to indigenous people it's hard to come through that, especially in Latin American countries that a lot of us don't have good economies. Indigenous people are suffering a lot. So this is not about Yalitza. This is about mocking a race, mocking slavery, mocking this scar that it really lives through a lot of us. And because you don't care doesn't mean that other people don't care. It's time, yeah, before it was funny because it was totally accepted mock indigenous people. It still is accepted to mock indigenous people and black people in Latin America. But now we are getting more conscious. Now we are understanding that we need to stop this colonization mentality that Spanish tried to lift on Latin America. So that's all for my rant for today. I just want to say I love Yalitza Aparicio. She really is very important in representation in the media for Hispanics and for people that consider themselves as indigenous people, because a lot of people in Latin America, we're mixed, but whatever you want to consider yourself, it's fine. I'll always consider myself as an indigenous person until I die. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're Hispanic, what do you think about the colorism in Latin America, about this mejorar la raza, about this calling, this say in Spanish that is like, puedes vestir la mona de seda, pero mona se queda. I hope me making this video will bring up more conversation into the discrimination of indigenous people. Yalitza, a queen, honestly. And I'll really appreciate you guys if you subscribe, write down your opinion. If you want me to react to more videos, because I know there's many about this topic, I'll really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.